Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, let me thank Gypsy World for giving me the opportunity to record this video message and to address all the persons following your activities and initiative through this website. We often say that the European Union is a community of law and of values. The EU treaties, and notably the Charter of Fundamental Rights, reaffirm this. And this is why, more than ever before, policymakers throughout Europe must make the integration of Roma a priority. The integration of Roma can no longer wait. There have been centuries of rejection, deeply rooted prejudice, extreme poverty, unemployment, poor health and education. It is now time to change. The task ahead of us all is enormous, and it may well take a time to achieve fully integration. However, the extent of the challenge cannot undermine our ambition, because looking away would mean contradicting our very own values and fundamental principles. A successful and prompt integration of the Roma communities in Europe depends on successful policies that are the responsibility of member states, regions, local authorities. These policies, education, housing, access to health, employment, are in the hands of the national, regional and local authorities, and it is for them to ensure that the rights of Roma in relation to these areas are duly enforced. The European Commission stands ready to support the action of the authorities in order to improve the current situation of Roma both in countries of origin and in the host countries. The European Commission and the European Parliament have been active for more than a decade in Roma integration policies, but clearly more needs to be done by the 27 member states. For example, it is essential that countries of origin and host nations use the available European funds efficiently, productively. As you may know, a large share of the European funds available to fight against poverty and discrimination, and from which Roma could largely benefit, are simply not used by many member states. The European Commission wants to change this. It is true that member states have a large discretion of how to use EU funds. However, the EU institutions may help in targeting support action to those areas where it is most needed. Access to housing and education for Roma children are for me such issues. The European Commission recently established a task force to assess how the available EU funds are used for the benefit of the Roma communities. The European Commission also plays a key role in ensuring non-discrimination and in securing the right of every European citizen to move across the European Union, and if they meet the conditions set out in the law, to settle in another EU member state. Recent events demonstrate that I am referring to facts, not to intentions. European legislation, once adopted in Brussels, is applied by the member states, and I will remain watchful that all procedural guarantees ensured by EU law are fully respected in all 27 EU member states to avoid discrimination and arbitrary decisions in controversial situations. Finally, let me stress that the Roma themselves are the most important players of their own integration. Effective integration policies must be elaborated with the Roma, and not just for the Roma, but with Roma men and women, and with Roma children, because we need to break the cycle of poor access to education and health. So I do rely on the Roma people to contribute to this goal and to become active players in the building of a union for all people. We face big challenges, and the situation will not change overnight, and it will take a long time before we see real change on the ground. But that must not stop us. We should persevere, We cannot afford to let another generation of Roma fail to live up to their full potential for both moral and economic reasons. Today in Europe, Roma are discriminated against on the basis of their ethnic origin. This is unacceptable. Public authorities and politicians must show leadership to counter rhetoric fueling discrimination. My goal is simple. Let us ensure that Roma enjoy the same rights and opportunities as anyone else. They have also the same obligations. Because Roma are not different from anyone else. Give them a chance to study, and they will learn. Give them a chance to find a job, and they will work. I hope I can count on your support to meet that goal. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.